Hi, I'm Randy Robison. This is Life Today TV. I have two wonderful guests, Bob and Maria Goff. If you don't know them, you should. Welcome to the set.
Hey, thanks a lot.
And I got a question for you guys. Maria.
Yes.
When I met you guys, and I've watched you now, because we just met, right? You've been here just an hour
We're
or so.
fast friends.
You're hugging everybody. You guys hug everybody. Why do you do that?
Yeah, I think it's just a natural expression for us to just like reach out and love people. Yeah, strangers. Not everybody wants to be hugged, so you try to be sensitive to that, but it feels good. Passing the love.
Part of your message? Part of the whole why you're here to write and teach?
A message as much as an approach to life, like assuming friendship, assuming family, like assuming we're together in this thing. Yeah. And it would take a lot to push us off that. Like the idea of loving everybody always.
Where does that, I mean, I know that's biblical, but that seems pretty basic.
Yeah.
But yet it seems hard to do sometimes.
Oh yeah, I mean, hearing that from a lawyer.
Yeah.
Right? Instead of having all these opinions about everything, how about being humble, right? That's idea, and then just assuming people that we're like assuming the best for them and hoping for them what we're hoping for us. And there's something that's beautiful. Like I think our marriage has been built on that. Our family has been built on this, hoping for other people and drawing people in.
That stands out in a very cynical world that we live in.
Yeah.
You know?
Perhaps. I haven't met very courageous cynics though. Have you?
No,
I really haven't.
Yeah.
Like I think like cynicism is like just somebody who's like really insecure posing as confident.
Yeah.
And so what I've tried to do is not think bad things of them, but just, it's in many cultures, they say you never give the microphone to the other guy because you'll never get it back.
Right.
So I think we're really picky about who we give the microphone to in our lives. I wouldn't give it to somebody cynics. And even if they're actually right, about something, it might not be correct. Like that idea that you could be like, I don't know, right, but at what cost? So I don't know if there's one thing that we've been thinking about as a family. It's just like to let everybody in. Like that idea that grace draws a huge circle around everybody and says they're in.
Yeah.
An expression of that, and I'm curious what you thought of this, because when, I forget which book it was, but at the end of the book, you put your cell phone number in it.
Yes, isn't that awesome?
I would never do that.
Yeah.
I'm putting your cell phone at the end of the next one.
No. How did it just blow up?
Yes,
Yeah.
it did. In the beginning, it was a surprise because we didn't know who was going to call.
Right.
And the phone started ringing and ringing, and it was a novelty at the beginning. And then it's like, wow, people are really calling. It became very clear really early, though, that people were just so curious to see if he would answer the phone.
Right.
And so then the conversations became really special, like families that were calling from hospital rooms.
Oh, wow.
Or little children wanting to ask more questions about their faith because their parents were reading them chapters at bedtime. Or entire Bible studies would call. We can always tell if it's like a Monday or Wednesday night because the calls come in more often because that's when people are in their Bible studies.
Yeah.
And you can tell if they're in junior high school because they're just giggling.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's been great. I bet I get 100 calls a day. And nobody goes to voicemail. If I hear it, I'm answering it. Because Jesus was available to everybody. He just said, I'm not Jesus, but we get to be like him. And every time you or I pick up the phone and say hello, we just answer every question they have. People just want to know one thing is true. Like, what if we make one thing true? And then, I don't know, the Holy Spirit's so over my pay grade, but like, if we could make one thing true, then maybe the Holy Spirit will start talking to them about what else might be true. And so our job, love everybody always, and then be available. And you don't have to change your ringtone to a rooster crowing on the third ring. You've denied Christ, right? So, but what if you just say that? Like, I don't know. I just want to be available because the more available we are, it looks a lot like Jesus. Remember, like somebody pulls on his shirt. He's like, "Who was that little guy in a sycamore tree?" He's like, "Lunch on you."
Yeah. He also in balance. He also pulled back sometimes from the crowd.
Yeah, didn't take long for them to find him, though.
No.
True. But I mean, do you guys still
understood.
have some sort of privacy with each other and even with God to refuel?
We actually talk about the lodge. Like, that's a great place.
Yeah, we do have this place where we've recognized that there's people out there that are influencing culture for really good reasons, for God's glory. And on the front lines, you can get beat down or, you take a couple for the team, and they're tired. And so we give them a place to come aside and rest. because that was the model that Jesus did with his disciples. They were performing miracles and, you know, doing their thing. Their ministry was huge and there was large crowds of people. And Jesus set that example with the disciples and said, we need to go to a quiet place and rest. Because in order to pour out, you need to also fill up. And he knew that that time alone and quiet reflection and prayer would do that for him and the disciples. So we try to do that with people that we hear that they're out there and they're just doing great work, but you can't just keep doing great work. You have to find a time to fill up. And so we take people and give them that time.
And this place is really remote. It's 150 miles one way to a grocery store. There's no roads, there's no electricity. We make everything ourselves. Like we made a hydroelectric plant off a glacier. That's how we get the power. It's awesome. It's like 100 miles north of Vancouver in British Columbia.
It's way up there.
Yeah, so people come and we're the first house on the right.
You're the only house on the right for 100 miles.
Right, but there's something about that. So the cadence is flat out, Mach 5, hair on fire, and then a time of rest. Yeah, so that's been good for us. Yeah. And I think it's been good. Like we've learned a lot from the people that have come up there. I don't think they learned from us. I think it's that we just, because we assume friendship and assume family.
You getting some good feedback on your book, Love Does?
Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
And well, you know what we did is we gave all the money away. Isn't that awesome? So we built a school in Uganda and we thought that was it, but people kept buying it. So then we built a school in Somalia and one in northern Iraq this year. And we've got an orphanage in Nepal, and we're just starting a school in Mongolia.
You're, what are you, ambassador from Uganda to the United States
consul.
or something like that?
Yeah, I know. I walk into embassies, they're like, where's the Ugandan? I'm like, I'm the Ugandan.
That's crazy. How do you get that gig?
Yeah.
I don't know, right? I've got the State Department card. It says I have diplomatic immunity. I could kill you.
Yeah.
Nice to know. Nice to know.
No, but what if
But love doesn't do that.
No, love
love
doesn't do that.
But here's the deal, though. The flag of Uganda flies over our house. And it like where the consul is and the flag flies, it's Uganda. And you know what's crazy? We fly under the banner of Christ. We do, and it changes all the rules about how extravagant we can be with one another and loving each other, and how extravagant we can be with our time, how available we can be. I think we fly under this flag, and it changes everything. It can't just change a couple things. And when it changes a couple, I know for us as a couple, we've been saying, let it change a couple more.
Good stuff. We could go on forever, but I'm going to let you go join the broadcast show.
Thank
You can
for having
catch Bob and Maria Goff on Life Today at lifetoday.org. And guys, we'll have to sit some other time and just talk, maybe with or without the cameras, but good to have you here.
All right.